It's Thursday, the 7th of October. I'm Tom Young, and we're here for anchorfm.com podcasts named Money Shifts and Facebook Live at the Family Money Farm Group. You know, it's interesting to pay attention to everything going around me. I just had a client in a little while ago, and they understand the financial storm that is happening around us. You know, there's very little ways to make any interest on money and so on. So we're going to talk about the financial storm today because I don't think people really believe that it is upon us. So we're going to talk about what is the financial storm. But before we do that, we start every day with prayers for everybody around the world. The China virus, the things that are going on, the pandemic, the government's closing up businesses and closing down the economy are going to have catastrophic long-term effects on everybody's lives around the world. We also want to pray for those who have lost loved ones during this period of time. And we want to pray for the loved ones that have been lost, that the Lord would gather them into his arms and take them off to his kingdom of heaven above. In Jesus' name we pray. You know, every day we start with a quote, and we're talking about quotes from a great man. And this guy is actually Henry Ford, known for the Model T Ford, assembly line factories, etc. Chop your own wood and it will warm you twice. Isn't that interesting? Chop your own wood and it will warm you twice. Before everything else, getting ready is the secret of success. Before everything else, getting ready is the secret of success. You cannot go through life and have things handed to you on a silver platter. You have to plan for them. You have to work for them and have some kind of semblance of thinking. You know, we talk about this all the time because it takes dreamers. What do you mean, Tom? Dreamers? Well, we all have to have some kind of dreams about the future and our lives. Most everything centers around financial because people say, well, money's not important to me, Tom. It's right up there with oxygen. Because without money, you got no food, no shelter, etc., and on and on. So how do I get money? Well, I have to work for it. I do not have an expectation that somebody is going to take care of me. You have to work for it. Work can be many things. Preparing to work for it. Learning a trade, learning a profession, learning how to do something that is of value to others, and the others would be willing to pay you for it to get done. We started out talking today about the financial storm. So what is the financial storm? The financial storm, when a storm comes upon us, what happens? The skies get dark. You know, the clouds start to move in. And then all of a sudden, the wind picks up and starts to blow. So that's the first level of a storm. So we know a storm is coming by the initial activities of the air, the sky, and all of those kind of things tell us the storm is coming. What is the financial storm? Well, when people are struggling, and by people, I also mean the federal government, the Federal Reserve, which has nothing to do with federal, it's the private central bank that exists literally around the world. So there is one central bank in the world, and all of the central banks in all of the individual countries are all tied to and part of this central bank. This month, we are talking about Nelson Nash and his book, The Infinite Banking Concept, Becoming Your Own Banker, and understanding that it is a concept. It is not a product that you buy. It's a process that you must learn how to apply in your life. Banking is the most profitable business in the world, especially when you have central banking systems, fractional banking, and a system that literally allows them to print money from nothing. Now, you and I cannot do that. If we did, it has been known in history that there have been people that tried to print money. It's called counterfeiting, and they end up going to jail. Because I was watching a video last week about how money is made, and it went all the way back to how the paper is made. It is a very special paper. It is almost like a cloth, not a paper. When you look at a dollar bill currency, it is unique in the way it's built and designed. So it is very, very, very hard to copy or counterfeit, make another copy of it out of nothing. This financial storm encompasses a lot of things. The government borrows money from the Federal Reserve. How do they do that? What do they use as collateral? When you go to the bank to borrow money, they want collateral. They believe you're going to pay it back, but give me some collateral. They want assurances that you're going to pay it back. And the collateral of the federal government in the USA and every country in the world is the ability of that country to tax and take our money. You and I as citizens to take our money. And right now, the government collects on average $3.4 to $3.8 trillion a year total revenue. And the last several years, not just during the pandemic, but they have been overspending for years. And in overspending, they have run up a debt that right now is $28.8 trillion. And there is a ceiling, there is a limit to how much the government can borrow. And there has been a political storm in Washington fighting between the politicians about raising this debt ceiling and giving the government authority to continue to borrow more and more money. I don't know where that stops at. They have no way to pay back the $28.8 trillion that is already on the books as borrowed, and they owe people and countries around the world, including you and I as U.S. citizens that buy treasury bonds and e-bonds and all of those things. When you buy one of those, that's not an investment. It's loaning money to the federal government. In my spending every day, it is sometimes very hard to help people get a vision for what is possible in their life. And they struggle with that. Helping people to clean their glasses, their lenses that they see through. Remember, there is perspective and perception. Our perspective is how we see life, our lens that we look through in order to see life. Our perception is how we interpret what we see. And perception is changed in three basic ways: the people we meet, the things we read, and the things that we experience, the places we go and places that we actually experience. And I don't believe that people are actually at this moment in time fully aware of what is going on around us today. I'm careful how I say this, because if I say it in the wrong way, the platform that I use every day to talk, they will shut me down because they don't think it's true. They don't think it's real. They think it's a conspiracy theory. But yet on Fox News the other night, for the first time, Waters World on Waters, he talked about the audits, the voting audits that are happening and going to continue to happen across the U.S. And I guess maybe eventually the mainstream media will start telling people the truth. I hope so. Because until that happens, till people can actually see the truth, the storm is going to consume us. This financial storm in Washington, which is the bickering between the politicians. You know, there was a time where the left and the right could get together and work things out and come up with, some kind of compromise. And they did things that were supposed to be in yours and my best interest in America or in whatever country you're in. And they have lost sight of that. And I don't believe they work in our best interest anymore. I think they focus more on their interest than our best interest. So that all leads me to this story that I have been telling about the financial world is not in business to do you and I a favor, to teach us how to be financially successful. They're in business to take control of our money so that they can make money using our money. They pay you some semblance of interest on your money or some semblance of rate of return, which is not enough to accumulate any real wealth so that you will have some real financial freedom at some point in your life that we usually refer to as retirement. But I don't think that is going to be possible looking at the future. It is becoming harder and harder to accumulate money for those retirement years. The real retirement date today is age 87. 87? Yes, 87. In 1890, Bismarck in Germany, an economist, said a government worker in Germany should be able to retire at age 65 and receive some kind of government stipends. But life expectancy was age 49. So not a lot of people got to age 65. In the 1930s, President Roosevelt created Social Security for the retirement and the betterment of all of the people. Well, that was a lie, because it was really nothing more than a political move to get younger people working and get older people out of the workforce. And Social Security was never meant to be the retirement plan that it is today. It was to be 1/3, one leg on a three-legged stool. One leg was Social Security, one was personal savings, and one was some kind of company pension where you worked. Pensions have pretty much gone to the wayside. And savings, personal savings, has gone away because people now believe that I put money in my 401k and that is my retirement plan, along with Social Security. And the reality of it is people do not save enough money for what they're doing. They just don't. They need to save more money. And the whole idea of the Family Money Farm and the CFO Project book is about opening your mind, providing new financial education that will allow you to save more and more money without taking away from your lifestyle. But the first decision has got to be yours. It has to be something you really want to do. I pray every day for people, that they will find in some way, find God's map in their life, this map that is there for all of us. It lies inside each and every one of us. But you have to do something to find it. You have to think about it. You have to provide action. You have to do something to find this roadmap that God has provided for all of us. It is sometimes very hard to stay focused on this map because of all the distractions that go on around us. The biggest thing happening right now is inflation. Inflation is eating up our money. I saw a number today. It's an average of about $172 a month additional expense in our personal lives because of inflation. So that means your dollar on a monthly basis, your income has been reduced by $172. It doesn't mean the price of things went up. It means the value of your dollar is going down. That is what inflation really is. I'm going to let it go there today. We're going to talk more about this financial storm tomorrow and the banking concept that we're going to talk about all month long and how to implement the concept of being your own bank in your own life to make money that you didn't think was makeable by just doing things differently. Get my book, The Family Money Farm, The CFO Project. Get it at Amazon, Barnes & Nobles. If you buy that book and let me know you bought it, I will send you a link to the Financial Mastery Coaching ebook, The Blueprint, which gives you a day-to-day, what do I do every day, every week, every month to start moving forward and gaining ground on my financial life. You can go to cfo-project.com. It is right there. Put in your name and email address, and you'll get an email and a link instantly to download a cover-to-cover copy of my book. When you do that through the cfo-project.com, I will also forward to you a link and let you download the ebook, the Financial Mastery Coaching Blueprint. With that in mind, God bless. We'll see you here tomorrow at 12 noon. Another week is going to come to an end. God bless you. May God keep you safe and guide you in everything you do and every one of your thoughts.